Hello everybody, I'm working on a Toro Zero turn that I was graciously given by a friend because they didn't want it no more. It needed a lot of work, so I've done that. Now, this Toro, in one of my videos I showed you, just had hoses coming up from the hydro gear slash hydro cats, what I call them. And I took the hoses and took them off and put new ones on because the old ones were probably 20 years old. They were dry rotted. So anyways, I said, well, what the heck? I want to have a tank. But there's no room back here for a tank. But I wanted to have a tank. So I ordered a tank, and this tank has a dual rubber hose on it. Get a flashlight here. Has a dual rubber hose on it on the bottom. Try to see if I can show you. I got some slack in it so I can pull them up. So I put some slack in them so I can mount them. Sorry, trying to do this here. So there you go, you can see them. So it's a dual tank, dual rubber hoses on it. I put some hose clamps on it. I put some slack in it so I can pull the hoses up. So let's follow this out. So the old hoses come up and just stood up straight right here with a vent on it. And you didn't know how much oil was in them. So if you were leaking out, you didn't know. Get my flashlight. So what I did is, I took the top of the cat, or the gear, hydro gear, and there's a grommet in there with a 90-degree elbow. It's hard to see it. And I put a hose clamp on it, a new hose. I ran it through the frame. I come up through the bottom of the tank. This fake area has a useless void. This void's useless. So I went and took a multi-step drill bit, and I drilled it at an angle. I marked it with a piece of tape, as you can see, and I drilled it at an angle. I drilled this side at an angle. I made the tank fit. I took a heat gun and heated up the ears on this so it would fit the curvature of this. And then I put them on and tightened them up with a hose clamp. Now, the left one has a 3.5-foot hose. I got that at a local hardware store. And it's got a small dip down here. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug the one side of this tank. I'll take some towel and I'll plug that hole. I'm going to plug that hole, fill it with oil, and get this side to fill up that whole line and then into the cat. So I have an extra quart and a half. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take some work towel, shop paper towels. Hold on a minute. Scott rags, I guess you can call them. I'm going to take a little piece of it. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my tool and I'm going to block that hole off. And the reason is I want this one line that has a little bit of dip in it get fed oil first before the left side does. I mean the right side. I'm trying to fill the left side up. So take my screwdriver without getting it lost down there. And this is just to keep any residual oil. I don't want to fill this side yet. So there, I plugged it up. So I got my tank run. I got it connected. I'll make sure the hoses are on good. I want to do video and show you. This, again, didn't have a tank, so I used this empty area and drilled holes at an angle after I marked them with tape to match the drain lines. And then I ran my hoses, and they go up underneath the frame here into that body. I hit it precisely. So a step drill went right through the plastic with ease and gave me that. So I'm going to take out my trash, and these are my screws from my tank and my washers. I just want to lose them. One more washer. I'll make sure this is all clean of debris. I'll clean it out later. So, all right, so I blanked the right side while facing the machine. So when I fill this reservoir up with oil, and I got the zero turn up in the air. I got the tires off because I just haven't lazy, didn't put them back on yet. And I had to do that to get to the hoses. And I'm going to fill it. So that's what we'll do now. So I got about a half a quart left, maybe less, and I got another whole quart. But I've already put over two quarts in each already. So I've already done a lot of that. So, all right. So my remaining oil, I don't need to get up to that tissue. My goal is to, and you can see it blurping already, is to get the line going to the top of the hydro gear filled up. Get as much oil in there as I can. So you can see it blurping. So the oil's going down. It's going to be a slow feed, so that little plug's going to keep it from draining out. I'll just put this whole bottle in there, what I got left. And all I got to do is sit and wait patiently because it's going to take a while. So that's my mod. This is the Henry do-it-yourself mod. Reason is I'm anal and I want to know how much oil in those because those things aren't cheap. So I want to know how much oil's in it, if they're doing okay, if they got a leak or not. This will help you, and this will keep them fed. And then it'll expand and go down. So you don't need to want to have too much in it. If you get too much in it, it heats up and expands, it comes out. So it's got a vent on top, so it'll allow it, and it'll naturally finish feeding that. So hopefully we got a good trickle going down this hose, and it's doing its job for me. I think it's going to run down out of the tank. It's got a small loop under here, under the fender. It's going to go back over. It should go okay, and it slowly should feed itself down to this other hydro gear. So I'm just kind of like doing one side first. Then I'll pull my little tissue out and let the other one fill up. So we'll stop blurping. I'm sure it's not full yet. Patience when you go do this, so that's why I put the tank on it, because what I can do now is I'll just keep filling the tank as it goes down. So that's what I did in a nutshell. I figured out that 90 comes out of the top of that hydro gear, and it's got a rubber grommet in it. I pulled it out, I redid the hoses, hose clamped it, ran new hoses. Wasn't really that hard, but you gotta do it with the wheels off. And then I installed the tank. I just thought out of the box. I wanted to have a tank, and now I got a tank. And this don't sit outside, so I'm not worried about moisture getting in it. Plus, it's got a cap to help prevent that. But you shouldn't leave these outside anyways. It's hard on them. Well, it's not blurping anymore, I'm sure. It'll take time. Probably when I run it in a vibration, it'll work all the air out of it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull that plug out on the other side, and I'll take it out. I'll take that plug out, and she should be good to go. And I'll just I'll fill it up, and I got a pair of new noodles, if I can find it. All right, so I'm gonna just pull that plug out, and I'll just let it naturally drain into the hydrocats. I'll put my screws back in, hold my tank in place, and I think my do-it-yourself tank idea is done. So I'm quite happy with that. I got my other quart of oil. Sorry, I'm a little mess right now. I got a bunch of things going on. So I'll just let it keep filling up. I'll put the wheels back on and just let this do its thing. And I think my invention worked. I'll go ahead and put my screws back in, mount my tank, and take these off. Those were a big help. I got everything in place. Hoses are in place. No leakage. All right, Henry Weeder man out. This is on the Toro Zero turn. It didn't have a tank, and I made a tank. I made a tank system for it. Henry out. Hope this helps somebody. Just my idea. If you feel energetic and you want to do something. I think total in it, I got less than 40 bucks. All right, thanks everybody. Have a good day.